If countries were like pizza slices, you'd expect each topping to stay in its own slice, right? But reality is way messier. Some ethnic groups have their home country, but most of them, they're scattered, layered, and sometimes piled high on the slice next door. Take the Pashtuns. Most people think of them as Afghan, but more of them actually live in Pakistan. And the largest group of Tajiks? Not in Tajikistan. They're in Afghanistan. This video is a tour across unexpected borders, where culture and identity spill far beyond the map. Because history doesn't always follow the lines we draw. Let's start with a twist that confuses even seasoned map readers. The Pashtuns are Afghanistan's largest ethnic group. But guess what? More Pashtuns actually live in Pakistan. Yep. The country named Afghanistan doesn't even have the most Afghans, if by Afghans, you mean Pashtuns. So, what happened? The answer lies in a line. Literally. It's called the Durand Line, drawn in 1893 by the British, because colonial powers just love drawing straight lines across complicated realities. The Durand Line sliced through Pashtun tribal lands, leaving half in what was then British India, and the other half in Afghanistan. Fast forward to today, around 43 million Pashtuns live in Pakistan, while Afghanistan has between 18 to 26 million, depending on who's counting. And yet, culturally and politically, Pashtuns remain at the heart of Afghanistan's identity. It's one of those historical ironies where the main country ends up with the smaller half. So next time someone says Afghanistan is the land of the Pashtuns, you can politely nod and then send them a map. Now, if you thought that was odd, buckle up. Because here's Afghanistan again, pulling off another ethnic plot twist. We just learned that its largest ethnic group, the Pashtuns, are more numerous in Pakistan. Well, get this. Tajiks, the main ethnic group of Tajikistan, are actually more numerous in Afghanistan. Yeah. Try wrapping your head around that one. Let's look at the map. Northern Afghanistan sits just across the river from Tajikistan, but there's no hard ethnic line here. The Tajiks have lived in this region for centuries, long before modern borders showed up. Today, Afghanistan is home to around 9 to 12 million Tajiks, while Tajikistan has about 9 million. So if you're looking for the world's largest Tajik population, you'll find it south of the border. They share the same language, Dari and Tajik being close cousins, and deep cultural ties. But their political realities are different. One lives under a presidential regime with Soviet roots. The other in a country that's seen decades of conflict and change. It's one of those quirks of history where the cultural heart of a people might be strongest outside the borders of their homeland. So, yes, Tajikistan is the country of the Tajiks. But Afghanistan might just be where most Tajiks actually are. Let's not leave Central Asia just yet, because it's still got surprises. This time, we head west to the Azerbaijanis, or Azeris. And yes, they've got their own country, Azerbaijan. But the largest group of Azeris, they actually live in Iran. Look at the map. Northwest, Iran sits right below Azerbaijan. But back in the day, this whole region was home to Azeri-speaking peoples, long before borders were drawn. Today, over 8 million Azerbaijanis live in Azerbaijan. Sounds solid, right? Well, guess what? Iran has anywhere from 12 to 23 million Azerbaijanis. That's potentially 3 times more. And we're not talking about just rural areas. Some of Iran's most influential presidents, generals, and poets were ethnic Azerbaijanis. They've helped shape modern Iran just as much as Persians. But here's the twist. While they share language, food, music, and family names with Azerbaijan to the north, their national identity is deeply Iranian. They may speak Azerbaijani at home, but they vote in Iranian elections and celebrate Nowruz under the Iranian flag. So yes, Azerbaijan is the official home of the Azeris. But Iran is where most of them live, lead, and leave their mark. The Mongols. Yes, Genghis Khan's crew. Nomads of the steppes. Masters of horseback archery and empire building. Surely they live in Mongolia, right? Well, not most of them. In fact, more Mongols live in China than in Mongolia itself. About 6 million Mongols live across China, especially in Inner Mongolia, Xinjiang, and Northeast China. Meanwhile, Mongolia, the actual country, has a population of just about 3 million total, and not all are ethnic Mongols. So, the biggest population of Mongols? Inside a country that isn't Mongolia. Wild. But there's a twist. Over the decades, many Mongols in China have faced Sinicization, a soft but steady push to adopt Mandarin, Han Chinese culture, and urban lifestyles. Schools in Inner Mongolia have cut back Mongolian language classes, and city life now often replaces the nomadic traditions. So while the name Mongol still echoes across history, not all Mongols today ride horses under the endless blue sky. Some are riding the subway in Hohhot. Yep, Genghis never saw that one coming. But now, we flip the compass. Instead of people moving into China, let's look at a wave of people who moved out and brought their culture with them. Meet the Han Chinese subgroups of Southeast Asia, the Hokkien, Teochew, and Hakka. They didn't just migrate, they reshaped cities, built economies, and kept centuries of tradition alive, far from the mainland. Take Bangkok, for example. Believe it or not, it's home to more Teochew speakers than Haozhou, the original Teochew city in China. And that's just the beginning. You'll find millions of Hokkien speakers in Malaysia and Taiwan, Hakkas in southern Thailand and Borneo, and Teochew communities thriving in Singapore and Vietnam. They brought their food, their temples, their dialects, and they've held on tight. Walk into a neighborhood in Penang or Bangkok's Yaowarat, and you'll smell the incense, hear the dialects, and feel the echoes of a homeland. 1,000 miles away. In this case, a people didn't lose their roots. They carried them across the sea. Up to now, we've talked about people living far beyond their so-called homeland. But what if that homeland never got to exist in the first place? Enter the Kurds, a nation without a country. Around 30 to 40 million strong, the Kurds are scattered across Turkey, Iran, Iraq, and Syria. Ironically, the country with the largest Kurdish population is Turkey, not exactly where you'd expect to find a stateless nation thriving. And yet, despite everything, changing borders, broken promises, shifting regimes, the Kurdish identity holds strong. Because sometimes a country isn't drawn on a map. It's kept in language, music, and memory. So what did we see on this journey? Pashtuns in Pakistan, not Afghanistan. Tajiks in Afghanistan, not just Tajikistan. Azeris in Iran, Mongols in China, and Chinese subgroups scattered across Southeast Asia. Even the Kurds, a people with no official country, found ways to exist across four. It makes you wonder, where do people really belong? Along the neat lines drawn on maps? Or in the messy, beautiful stories of history, movement, and memory? Because borders change. People move. But culture, language, and identity, they often find their own way to survive.